Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shauna. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. As you know, we've been phasing through this periodic table series. However, every now and again, in the middle of a series, the Most High might nudge me to talk about something in particular, and we'll cut into the series, okay? A lot of times when I'm just having regular conversations, I'll, get a download that this is something that needs to be discussed on the podcast. And a few questions we need to have asked ourselves in order to change our mentality. So tonight we're going to be discussing our subconscious and our mentality and breaking old habits and the things that may be in the middle, or just some keys or things we need to look at, some factors, right, that may be hindering you. One thing, what are you consuming? We talk about this all the time, whether it's just your overall environment, food, drugs, or different medications, the clothes you're wearing, the music you're listening to, what you're watching on TV, right? Even the things you believe. Those are all forms or some forms of consumption, right? How do they affect you? What associations do you make? What do I mean by that? When you get around people, what do you tend to do with them? What do you associate with them? Are y'all smoking together? Are y'all drinking together? Doing drugs, partying, shopping, eating, praying, motivating one another, right? What's being bought out of you when you come into contact with certain people? Certain environments? Do you even have a good understanding of your own subconscious mind, right? How do you react? How do you respond to things? Are you quick to fly off the handle? Do you shut down? Do you get emotional? Right? And don't get me wrong, because I too have a lot of things that I need to work on. But I know that these are some of the things, like not even just your triggers, right? Just your responses overall. How do you view things? How are you handling things? Your perception of everything is more than likely going to determine how you feel. Therefore, how you react, how you respond. And again, I too have things that I need to work on. I was told that I have, control issues, and not even just with myself, just overall feeling the need to have control. I beg to differ. Sometimes I feel certain responses are warranted, right? But that's just me. But I'm saying as a discussion, right? Some things that need to be brought to the surface. Like, what are you dreaming about? How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel the need to spend money to feel good? Do you feel like you need to be alone to feel confident, or you're uncomfortable around people or just certain people? Right? These are things to look at, because this is all subconscious and unconscious things that are being triggered, and they're affecting how we respond and our ability to grow. So we have to be willing to, stare that ugly down. I always say that. Whatever you believe, you can attract. But ultimately, there are things that are beyond your own control. And I think when you learn to understand, you know, there are things that you have no control over, and the things you do have control over are the things you need to start strategizing, like our habits, because humans, we're habitual creatures, right? We form habits. So, and I'm seeing this on the more positive scale of things, like how do we start forming new healthier habits? And we discussed this before, and I talked about working out and eating better and reading and getting rest and drinking water, right? I'm saying on the internal psychological, emotional, mental side now, right? It's all created to the spiritual and related. I'm sorry, it's all related to the spiritual, but I'm saying in terms of the internal, right? How do we start focusing on the physiological aspects, where we can actually see the results and the things that are not so tangible. I have a lot of personal experiences that I can talk about, but those are just my experiences. In terms of the collective, there has to be a way that we have to learn how to view these things so we can know how to pinpoint them. Like, if you know you have a nasty attitude, work on your nasty attitude, right? If you know that you're spiritual and you have, a lot of sensitivity to a lot of different things, learn how to master protecting your energy. If you know you are emotional, learn how to guard yourself and protect your heart and your mind. How do you do that? What are the subconscious things? What is happening or what has happened that has allowed these things to subconsciously and unconsciously cause an effect in your life? Because we can't keep saying, oh, I was molested by my uncle when I was 5, and my mother did drugs with me, and when she was pregnant with me, and I'm a crack baby, and my daddy used to beat me, and he used to beat my mama, and my grandma used to, whatever. Right? We are aware that these things have an effect on us, so what are we going to do about it? We can't keep looking at the problem. We have to know that there are solutions, because there are problems to every single solution. We know that. What are they? And you may not know. So this conversation is a start. I was just having a conversation about dreams. So these are some of the questions. What do you dream about? Do you even remember your dreams? Are your dreams continuous? Do you understand your dreams? Can you interpret them? How do you feel about them? Do you write them down? Do they come to fruition? Do you want them to continue? Right? And I asked some of them earlier, like how do you respond to things? What has happened to you in your life? What do you feel that you need? What makes you happy? Truly, things that are not related in involving money. And if they are, what extent are you willing to go to get those things? See, we have to start examining ourselves from different perspectives. You have to really get to know yourself, because that is the best way to start solving your own problems. And when I say solving your own problems, I mean the things that you can do, the things that are within your grasp, in your understanding, and within your power. The structure of your life has some things to do with it, but you have to first ground yourself emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and the financial things will ultimately fall into place. And that just goes to show you that the money thing isn't always first. It's not first. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm just saying some other things need to be taken care of before you can start, buying clothes and houses and cars and things of that nature. That's the reward. That is the reward. Okay, having all the things that you desire is the reward for putting in the hard work. God is not going to, and I say this all the time. With the temperament that I had, even though I had the compassion and the passion, I lacked the maturity and the patience and the spiritual insight to had opened a shelter for 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. Where I am spiritually, and when I say spiritually, I mean as far as my spirituality overall, my spiritual maturity, and my expansion, right? The lengths that I've gone as far as being educating myself, spending more time with the Most High, to learn the Most High, to learn more about myself, to learn more about my purpose, to understand my earthly self and my spiritual self are two different things, but they are indeed connected. And in order for me to bridge that gap, I have to be willing to invest in the things that will get me there. Those things don't really have anything to do with money, right? You want to build yourself up, or you want to build something substantial, you can't really focus on money. You can't focus on things that are materialistic. You have to work on the things that are going to get you there, like patience, hard work, dedication, commitment, consistency, loyalty, honesty, things like that. Principles, characteristics, traits. How hard have you worked? And me, I'm one of those, I allow God to, I used to work so hard on just, I want to, I'm going to work 2 jobs and do this and do that and just overexert. When sometimes, the Most High will have you sit down for a season. And I always say that 2020 was the sit down for everybody. Everybody was sat still. And a lot of people were able to receive a lot of blessings after. They had been in the season of stillness. And everybody's season of stillness is not the same. Some people is 6 weeks. Others, it could be 6 years. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. My season of stillness was over 1 year. I was set still for over a year. Not working, not going to school, just really building on the fundamentals. The things that are important to be able to carry out anything, whether it's for the Most High or not. I mean, you have to have certain things. You have to be dedicated. And I'm saying my cause and what I'm doing is indeed for the Creator, the Most High. But I'm saying as far as seeing things through, whether you're doing it for yourself or for the Most High, certain things are needed before you can even start considering money. So we have to start learning how to pay attention and put a greater emphasis on our internal parts in order for the things we desire to manifest. I'm throwing myself in that, right? So I'm going to end it here. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all week. I hope y'all drink y'all water, eat y'all fruit and y'all vegetables. And I hope y'all are sipping y'all tea because it's free. And I hope y'all are being careful out there in that air. Checking that air quality. Burning y'all peppermint and y'all lavender and y'all tea tree. Getting y'all vapors going. Getting in the sauna and the steam bath, whatever you gotta do. Alright, eating y'all colors. I love y'all. Peace.